Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive corporate mystery that is keeping executives wide awake at night. You know, the case of the invisible AI. We're going to leverage some incredible insights from John Kachot, the creator of the Integrated Process Excellence, or IPE framework. We're going to use his work to solve a really critical puzzle in modern business, finding and governing artificial intelligence that is literally hiding in plain sight.
Okay, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the question boards are asking, then look at why asset audits fail, introduce the IPE process framework, walk through the 6 steps to visibility, and wrap up with scaling up to OES.
So let's jump right into section 1. The question boards are asking.
Picture this. Show me every AI agent running in your organization. It's the ultimate unanswerable question right now. Boards, CIOs, audit committees, they're all asking it. And the scary reality? Most organizations literally cannot answer it. Not because these agents are some top-secret black box, but simply because we're looking for them the completely wrong way.
When you boil it down, board anxiety really centers on 3 main things. They want to know what data the AI actually touches, what autonomous decisions it's making, and, crucially, who's left holding the bag if something goes wrong, who is accountable. But here's the rub. Our go-to tools, things like SaaS spend audits or API registries, they track software licenses. They don't track decisions. They just weren't built for this.
Which brings us to section 2, why asset audits fail.
See, traditional asset-based inventories are actually doing their job. They catch what they're designed to catch. We're talking about purchased, labeled products sitting right there in a procurement spreadsheet as a line item. But they completely miss the embedded agents, the shadow AI. Trying to catch those with an asset audit is like trying to catch a ghost with a butterfly net. These are tools wired directly into daily workflows by folks who are just trying to make their jobs a bit easier, and they totally bypass procurement. And this shadow AI, it takes on some super common forms. Clever macros, Copilot plugins, little scripted bots, or just simple model calls. It's spreading fast, right at the granular level of individual daily tasks. It slips right past standard enterprise audits because honestly, it doesn't look like enterprise software. It just looks like a clever shortcut a team whipped up to finish a project a little faster. All right, let's pivot to a solution in section 3, the IP process framework. This is where John Cachet's Integrated Process Excellence, or IPE framework, absolutely changes the game. Instead of going on a wild goose chase hunting for AI agents directly, this methodology inventories process elements. By mapping out exactly what work needs to be controlled, the agents just naturally surface as a byproduct. You stop hunting for the tool itself, and you start documenting the actual work. So under IPE, the whole business is broken down into this neat, logical hierarchy. You start broad with an area, you drill down into an activity, and finally, you hit the highly granular element. And we document every single one of those elements using the SIPOC method. That stands for suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, and customers. Structuring things this way guarantees 0 undocumented white space. There are literally no dark corners for a rogue AI agent to hide in.
Now here's the real engine driving all this. Every single element is governed by what's called a causal architecture. Key input variables, key process variables, and key output variables. And here's the kicker. Every single one of these variables absolutely must have a named owner. Now think about it. An AI agent is functionally just a new owner of one of these variables, right? If a bot handles the input, the bot is the named owner. Suddenly, tracking your AI is as simple as monitoring process ownership. By shifting our perspective like this, that terrifying, unanswerable board question we talked about earlier, it completely transforms. It becomes highly specific, highly operational. The question is now, at which elements have ownership of a key input, process, or output variable shifted from a human to a non-human agent? Just like that, you've got a question you can actually answer, precisely, element by element.
Let's look at exactly how to get there in section 4, 6 steps to visibility. This agent visibility basically falls out naturally from the 6 standard steps of IPE deployment. First up, you create a positive environment so people actually disclose their shadow AI without fear of getting in trouble. Then you define and document the process that forces every executor, human or agent, out into the light via SIPOC. Next, communicate the process to bridge the gap between IT and the business side. And finally, measure, control, and continuously improve. That ensures agent-driven variables are monitored for drift exactly like human ones. AI governance just becomes an everyday standard capability. Moving on to our final section,
Section 5. Scaling up to OES.
So how do we scale this across a whole enterprise? Well, we borrow a very familiar concept from the industrial world. Think about a manufacturing execution system, or MES. It gives a factory manager a full floor-level visibility into exactly what's executing on a production line. Well, an office execution system, an OES, built on the IPE hierarchy, it provides that exact same total operational clarity, but for white-collar work. And because the framework maps what work needs to be controlled rather than who's doing it, it is 100% agent-agnostic.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Mapping every single business element? That sounds like a massive, terrifying undertaking. And yeah, it does. But that's exactly why IP packs exist. To hit the ground running, organizations can use these sector-specific process intelligence libraries. So instead of staring at a blank page on day one, you get pre-structured areas, activities, and elements that are already mapped out with all the SIPOC and variable details tuned for your specific industry. It's a huge operational head start. All of this really drives home John Cashat's central thesis. Data plus process equals AI ROI. And crucially, it's always process first, tool second. By designing your governance framework around the process itself rather than the shiny new tool, you completely future-proof your organization. You're not going to have to rebuild your entire governance model from scratch every single time a new AI platform hits the market.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. An organization that has documented its elements before deploying these agents, they can pull up this framework and confidently answer the board's frantic AI question in a single afternoon. But an organization that hasn't? Well, they'll still be endlessly digging through old procurement records, desperately searching for an AI agent that was never officially bought in the first place. So, which organization are you?